Good evening and welcome to the July 16, 2026 meeting of the Board of Appeals. This meeting and the public hearings that we will be conducting is being broadcast and recorded by Foxborough Cable Access. First item on the agenda is our board reorganization, but again, we're going to have to delay it because obviously Kurt and Lorraine are not here. Second would be the minutes from the June 25th meeting. Any questions?
No.
Comments?
Nope.
Motion?
Motion to approve minutes from the prior meeting.
Second.
All approved? All in favor? Okay. Time being 7 p.m. Jackson Homes LLC seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 542 and Section 563 to allow the reconstruction, extension, or alteration of a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure with a habitable floor area of 1,638 square feet to a two-family residential structure that increases the habitable floor area by 25% or more to a habitable floor area of 4,796 square feet, and which causes the new structure to exceed the gross floor area of the original non-conforming structure and to be located other than on the original footprint, as well as any such other zoning relief as the board may determine to be necessary and appropriate. Property is located at 16 Carpenter Street in the R15 Residential and Agricultural District, should be just the residential district, and the Design Review Overlay District. Frank?
Attorney Frank Spillane here for the applicant, Jackson Homes LLC. With me this evening is Joseph Lynch, who's the manager of Jackson Homes LLC. The owners of the properties are Timothy Babbitt and John Babbitt, they're brothers. The property is located, as you know, at 16 Carpenter Street within the R15 zoning district. We're requesting special permits, 2 of them, under section 542 and 563, to allow the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling located at the site to be altered and reconstruction after demolition as a 2-family dwelling, such that the habitable floor area of the new structure will exceed by 25% or more of the habitable floor area of the existing structure, as well as it also will be located other than on the original footprint and also will exceed the gross floor area of the existing structure. 16 Carpenter Street is a pre-existing non-conforming because the lot contains 13,865 square feet of area where 15,000 square feet is required. The front yard setback is 19 feet where 25 feet is required, and a side yard of 8.5 feet where 15 feet is required. The existing single-family dwelling contains approximately 1,638 square feet of habitable floor area, and that's per the town assessors. We filed with the application elevation plans and floor plans, as well as a picture of a project Mr. Lynch has done already that is very similar to what he's proposing here, and an existing conditions plan, as well as a ZBA plan, which is the indicating where the proposed structure will be located.
Yes.
Again, the applicant is requesting a special permit to allow them to alter and reconstruct that pre-existing non-conforming single dwelling. It has a habitable floor area of 1,638 square feet, where the new 2-family dwelling will have a habitable floor area of 4,796 square feet. So that would be 2,398 square feet per unit. Each unit will have habitable floor area of 631 square feet on the first floor, 837 square feet on the second floor, and we've included 930 square feet in the basement. And speaking with Mr. Lynch, and you see in the plans, the plan doesn't show any rooms down the basement right now. However, when Mr. Lynch has built homes and duplexes in the past, sometimes proposed buyers come forward and want the basement built out. So he estimated the worst-case scenario where you just have a little room for the mechanical down there, and the rest of it is built out as habitable floor area. And that, again, came out for the basement of 930 square feet. Realistically, it probably won't be that big, because if you put closets in and walls, it shrinks it down. But that is a worst-case scenario. And instead of giving you just the first and second floor, and then if somebody wants basement built, having to come back here to modify the decision. So we came forward with that number. Again, the increase is more than 25% from the previous of the existing structure, so we need that finding. The proposed structure, as the plan shows, will have a front yard of 33 feet, again where 25 is required, a side yard of 21 feet where 15 feet is required, and a rear yard of 34 feet where 30 feet is required. Therefore, the proposed structure will be more conforming under the zoning than the existing structure. Again, but it will not be located on the original footprint and will exceed the gross floor area of the existing structure, and that's why we need the second special permit. Only the area will be non-conforming under the new proposed structure by 1,135 square feet, because we don't have the 15,000 square feet of area. The house that's there now was originally built approximately in the 1920s, and it was originally built on a 6,000 square foot lot. Additional land was purchased in 1944, additional lot and a half, which gets it to the existing square footage of 13,865 square feet. Additions were constructed over time. A kitchen was added in the 1950s, a living room in 78, and a second floor in the early 90s onto the original structure. So it's been kind of a hodgepodge of putting the building together. As the board is well aware, I'm sure, in order to grant a special permit, the board must find that the proposed construction, extension, or alteration shall not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood in which the structure is at issue is located than the existing non-conforming structure. And we feel it's not going to be substantially more detrimental. As a matter of fact, we think it's going to be an improvement and be beneficial. Section 10.4.1 authorizes the board to grant a special permit after considering certain criteria, and also determining that the adverse effect of the proposed use will not outweigh its beneficial impact to the town or the neighborhood in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposal in relation to the site. Some of the factors include community need, traffic flow and safety, the adequacy of utilities and public services, the neighborhood character and social structure, impact on natural environment, as well as potential economic and fiscal impact to the town. Since the proposed two-family dwelling will continue to be a residential structure, the same as the existing structure, it will not affect any specific community need. However, this proposal will serve the housing shortage needs that are stated by the Commonwealth and many of its officials. The proposed dwelling will not present any traffic or safety issues in addition to any of the previous existed with respect to the existing dwelling. So we don't anticipate any great increase in traffic or safety issues, and will have no impact on the natural environment. Since the property is currently adequately serviced by utilities and public service, our proposed dwelling will not impact the need for any additional requirements with regard to that nature. The construction and the use of the proposed two-family dwelling will have no negative impact on the character or social structure of the neighborhood, because the premise will continue to be used as a site as a residential structure, and as there are other two-family and multifamily dwellings within the neighborhood, we feel it will just fit right in with that. In my initial review of that neighborhood, I counted at least 4 other multifamilies and at least 10 other two-families. We feel that the neighborhood character will actually be enhanced again because of the proposed dwelling will be an improvement in appearance and location compared to the existing dwelling. There will be some benefit to the town, economic or fiscal perspective, as the construction will result in fees and an increase in property tax assessment. Therefore, the construction of our proposed two-family dwelling will not have a substantial or detrimental on the neighborhood in which it's located than the existing dwelling. And any adverse effect of the proposed dwelling, which we don't think there will be, will not outweigh their potential impact, beneficial impact to the town or the neighborhood in which the property is situated, especially in view of the particular characteristics of the site and the proposed dwelling in relation to the site.
Frank, what's the gross floor area?
The gross floor area?
Yeah.
I do not know.
Joe, can you?
Of the existing facility? Or
No, the new one.
the gross two-story level, not basement,
No, including the basement and,
including the basement,
yeah.
would be 2,200 for the first and second floor. I believe it's 22. It could be 2,250. The basement would be really however it gets developed.
Well, no, it wouldn't be however, the total of it. So, you know, habitable is just living space.
Right,
Theoretically, you don't live in a basement unless it's finished.
unless it's finished.
Yeah, so gross would be the entire structure, including the basement, including the first floor, including the second floor and the deck.
Yeah.
The calculation, which I can't find right now, which I think is wrong, though, so,
No, it's habitable floor area.
Habitable, yeah.
so I just want gross, because, and I'll explain why as we proceed.
Usually you don't ask that question.
I think it's-
Focus on habitable.
I always focus on habitable. I did a calculation, Joe, of 7,080 square feet, but I think that's
I
high.
think that's high. I think it's more like 3,100 per unit.
Okay.
If you're fully utilizing the basement,
Yeah.
Including the basement.
including the basement.
Okay.
So 31 and 31.
Yeah, the gross living area on the first and second floor, Joe had gotten me before, is 2,222 square feet. That's just the first and second floor.
2,222?
Yes. The first floor is 1,024 square feet, and the second floor is 1,198 gross square feet.
So that's what, about 44, plus the basement would be what?
2024, 2048, plus, what was the number you just said?
44.
44. 6492.
Is total?
Total for the whole building, in,
Wall to wall to wall.
wall.
Okay.
Again, that's a rough estimate.
Yep. Okay. So gross is 6,492, plus or minus, and habitable is 4,796. And gross of the current house is significantly less, so,
Yes, the gross is the same as what we said with the habitable floor area.
okay. And as Frank mentioned, we're in the R15 district, which allows two families by right. In the area, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about a dozen two families.
I counted 10 and 4 multifamilies.
Yeah, we had the assessor's office run a list for us.
Okay,
So there are 10. They missed one, which is around the corner on West Leonard Street, which is,
it also depends on how far you
yeah.
go.
I went from Carpenter Street, the entire street, plus the streets off of, like
Right.
Howard, Bassett, et cetera.
I didn't count anything on Central.
Nor did I, or nor did, I asked Diana to have the assessor's office did. So there were two families at 81 Carpenter, 7 Howard, 6 Howard, 10 Shaw, 11-15 Bassett, 8A and 8B Church, 13 Church, 7 Church, 3 Church, 13 West Leonard, 7 West Leonard, and 20-22 West Leonard. And that one is...
Are those the duplexes or the multis?
Two families. And the one at 20-22 West Leonard is over 7,000 square feet gross. So, just a sort of a comparison. Guys, questions, go ahead.
Was that the only one that was 7,000 plus? Or-
Yes, there was one that was over 5,000, one that was about 6,500, two that were over 3 that were over 5,000. I'm sorry, there was one that was 7169 gross, and one that's 7771 gross. So there's 1, 2, 3 that are larger than this gross.
Comparable, at least.
Yeah, several in the 5,000s. This is the largest as far as habitable. Just by comparison. And again, it's a district in which two families are allowed by right.
So just to clarify, this is a tear down and rebuild, and I think what you said was it's going to be more conforming with the setbacks. It's just the size of the building that's going to be non-conforming.
The
correct?
lot.
The lots, right,
Yes.
okay. And the basement, I just was looking for some clarification. It's undetermined as to what the plan for the basement development
correct.
is? Okay.
Typically, when I've come in, for houses like that, many times the basement is unfinished.
Right.
So I'm talking with Joe, you know, I asked him, are you gonna finish it? And he goes, you know, he markets it as unfinished.
Okay.
However, if somebody comes in and says, we want you to finish it, you know, and they negotiate the price,
Gotcha.
he finishes it. So we included it in here. And what Joe did was he made the smallest room he would think for the mechanical. And then whatever was left over, 900 square feet, we just named as a habitable floor area, not knowing, you know, do they want one room? Do they want two rooms? Do they want a bathroom? Do they want closets? Things like that.
Sure.
So we estimated high. Because if we come in here and this board approves it with an unfinished basement, and somebody wants to finish the basement, they have to come in here either to get a modification or another special permit.
So the 4796 includes that
Basement.
potential habitable space in the basement?
Yes.
Okay, Thank you.
Maxed out.
gotcha.
Joe, do you intend to own these and rent them or sell?
Most likely sell.
Okay.
The picture that you have there that we submitted is a building just on the other center of town at Orchard Place that I built a while back. And it was well received by the market. And it was approximately the same size, 22 plus a little bit, 2-car garage, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, and it worked out very well.
So the intent is it'll be the same exterior design?
Yeah, the only major difference is there's high groundwater on site. So our foundation is gonna be further out, so I have to figure out, and I think we've shown on the plans, how the siding would come down more so it doesn't look like a foundation sticking out of the ground. And we'll do that with grading and siding and that type of work.
I mean, kind of to that point, right, the impervious surface of the lot is gonna expand. So, you know, with water, with your building and everything being able to hire, have you figured out what you're gonna do with watershed?
Yeah, actually,
Leaving the property
think the
onto
design-
neighboring?
I think the proposed plan had the full drainage design put in place by Bay Colony, and they'll make sure that there's no,
Right, watershed.
watershed issues to neighbors.
Is the house occupied at the moment?
I think it was recently, but not in the last 3 or 4 months. I think there was a death in the family.
So you have it under purchase and sale?
I have it under purchase and sale, yeah.
And there is town sewer here, right? So there's no.
There is, yes.
No septic issues?
Well, we don't have to go through that again. I think you were probably entertained by that discussion last month. Any other questions for now?
No.
Okay, anybody in the public want to be heard? Could you come up to the microphone and identify yourself by name and address, please?
I'm Donna Slater, and I do live across from this monster.
Why don't you sit down and, again, your name and address?
15 Carpenter.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Well, my first question is, how far off that right-of-way is that right-hand side of the property?
1 second. We'll just take a look at the plan.
I apologize. Could you repeat your name?
Donna Slater.
Slater, thank you.
The closest point, the back right of the proposed building would be 22.1 feet off of the right-of-way.
And what is it now?
Right now, it's 15?
8.5 feet.
8.5, yeah.
And then my concern is, where is that driveway in relationship to my driveway on the right-hand side? Am I going to be backing up at the same time they are?
I don't think we have your driveway located on this particular plan.
Where's your,
I'm right across the street.
from the existing driveway?
No, from the existing house.
So
My,
this is your lot here.
yeah, and my driveway is to this side of it. I'm worried that this driveway and I are going to line up.
And your house and driveway are here, or we don't really know?
My house is 50 feet off of that edge.
And so the driveway comes to the front of your house or the side of your house?
Side.
Side of the house. So, but you said the house is 50 feet off of the edge?
Yeah.
There's 34.
No, I'm worried about
From your
this
driveway, do you
driveway.
look right at the house? From your driveway, do you look right at the house?
From my front window, I look right at that house.
No,
that's
no,
there.
no, if you stand in your driveway, are you looking directly at the house?
Yeah.
In the middle of the house?
Yeah, where that big rhododendron tree is.
So the house is way over here, so it'll probably be a little off-center.
I wouldn't think it's directly across, but it would be, like, if yours could be here.
Yeah, I'd like to see that drawn out if I could.
I mean, the only potential would be to shift it one way or the other, but I'm open to that.
I mean, you have room to shift the house in that direction.
That way.
And still
And then
not,
poor Mike's got to worry about it.
Yeah, but, I mean,
still not exacerbate
there's some flexibility, both left and right, with setback. But we tried to set it up so that it was,
Yeah.
Centered on the
Like
property.
I said, I'm worried about backing up because my neighbor at my other house did that. I mean, we kissed in the driveway, in the street.
maybe we could have two different backup times.
Why don't people look before they back up?
Nobody does, that's right.
Oh, yeah, we
Good point.
depend on the camera. We just,
you need to talk louder because we're
oh,
being.
no, no,
reco-
no. We're just talking about people, so I own a house out in the Berkshires. My neighbor backed up at the same time that people across the street, and his car got totaled. I'm visioning that, just in case. People don't look when they back up anymore. They think the backup camera is, and we just back it up. But if you could check that and adjust accordingly, I'd be happy.
Again, you're gonna need to,
Oh, I'm asking them to adjust it so that the driveway is offset from my driveway, and it's not a direct across the street.
Not your driveway and that's the house. Or a shed off your driveway?
To the
So it's
left.
on that side. So, we do have an existing conditions.
Yeah.
So, comes right here to this part of the
It doesn't
house.
show hers,
no,
Well,
missing that piece.
so I'm gonna draw it as best I can. But I think the front of this house here, this is existing, is here.
Assuming this is her house. That's her driveway.
This piece. And so you're,
I don't know exactly where the proposed
Oh, here.
driveways would be.
Probably the other one.
She
Your
would
driveway
be
would be-
concerned with wherever that one
as
is.
I sort of
Pretty much
figured,
close to where you
right
said
there.
An issue no matter how offset it is with backing up.
directly across from here. So it's a little bit offset. It's not directly behind it, but it's probably, your driveway would be into the proposed driveway by, I'm gonna say, 10 feet out of, maybe less than 10 feet, probably 8 feet out of 24. So 24 is the garage, so 8 feet of it may be
Roughly a third.
roughly, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the best I can for you to show you where it is.
do you have any other, ma'am, do you have any other questions or comments? Nope.
Do I have a say in it? Don't build it. That's my say.
I'll write that down.
You can.
That's right. Yeah. So,
Mr. Yukna?
a little bit of impact.
Joe.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Good. I'm representing my son and daughter-in-law who own 12 Carpenter Street. Three issues. Obviously, we understand the zoning on a duplex, but the site has been a site that has flooded for years. We've been working with the town. The kids have owned it for 17, 18 years. We've been working with the town for 17 or 18 years trying to resolve it. And unfortunately, it won't be an issue relative to the current lot that's there, but with the regrading, it's going to potentially get worse. So that's our number one concern. I could show you pictures in a heavy rain, the whole entire backyard is a pond. The town has tried by increasing the drainage side on the street, but again, in torrential rains, it doesn't stop. This lot that they're going to be building on also used to get flooded because the water would come down, flood to the right, flood to the left, but my son's property would take the bulk of it. So if you raise the grade around the property on their side, you're creating a bigger bowl on my son's side. Secondarily, this is a great picture, actually. If this was what you could build, I think the kids would be really happy. But what's going to end up happening is this is going to be very similar to the one on West Leonard. You're going to have to be up probably 6 feet out of the ground. And we know that because of my son's house. So that means this thing is going to be sitting up much larger in scope and look than this picture. This picture is beautiful. I think they would jump at it if they could get it, but you're not going to be able to
So
do
you're
it.
saying he's concerned about the height of it?
The building is going to have to come up to not be in the
Foundation's gonna
water
have to
table.
come out of
Yeah.
Come out of the ground.
Right. So that's the second concern. Again, not sure you can do anything about that where a duplex is allowed, but it's just to understand you're not approving this picture because that can't be built on the site. The driveway points, understand the driveway on the left almost lines up with West Leonard Street. So people backing out will be backing out to a very sharp curve that people take at a very high speed, unfortunately. Again, I want you just to understand that and consider it in your discussions as to what you do. The final point that they're concerned about, and if this were to get approved, is that beside the grading on their side, they have coverage right now. They have some trees and bushes and stuff that are they're very mature, a couple nice trees. They are on their property, but they are feet away from where they're going to be doing work. So they want to make sure that they're not going to get damaged because it's the only thing that gives them any privacy on their side. There are some very big pines on the side of the house on this that I'm sure they'll have to take down, but that's their property. We're not going to comment to that.
So you're talking about the bushes and trees on your son's property?
They're on my son's property, but they are literally sharing the line. Some of the ones on, like if you looked at my son's house, there's a huge rhododendron, but then all of a sudden goes right into arborvitae and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which are on their side. So it's like they're kind of interlinked at some point, which again, cleaning that out and separating is fine, but not killing what's existing that's on my son's side. So I think those, they asked me to represent, neither one of them could be here. My son was in a business meeting tonight, and my daughter-in-law is taking care of 3 kids. So, but those are the concerns we have. Is obviously you're increasing the possibility of water because there's less impervious area here. And yes, from a look point of view, it's much nicer than what is there today. I'm not going to argue that point. But, again, I want you to understand the issues that really what you're going to be at. The house will be up. The grading could really affect him. It won't affect the other side. It's town property, which is basically, wet forestry type stuff. So if water goes that way, it's like probably good. Who cares? And then out back is, I believe, conservation land, if I'm not mistaken, that town owns. Again, but it bowls up, so it's probably not going to grade that way. So. So that was the points.
So looking at the property, your son's house is to the left?
Correct. Yeah.
If
The
you would
last
come down
house.
West Leonard,
Yeah.
you'd be sort of facing this property, and his son's would be the one right next to
Right.
it, and then it's the charter school property.
Similar sized lots. My son's house is closer to their side than the other side of his property, if you will. So I think he's probably only 20 feet off with the addition that was put on years ago. So he's close that way, but.
Okay,
Okay.
Anyone else? Yes? And again, just let us know who you are and where you live, please.
Hi, my name is Christine Masterson. I live at 24 Carpenter Street. And really, I don't have much to add to what the gentleman just said. Those are the concerns that we had as well. A big one being the wetlands that are back there. I grew up in that neighborhood. We used to ice skate back there, so it's like that when it wants to be. And you know how that's going to be dealt with. And then also concern about, you know, going into those woods, those conservation areas. Because again, that's something that's been there for a very, very long time. Like the Clarks donated it 100 years ago type of thing. And also concerned about the traffic and on-street parking, you know, depending if that house is going to take up the whole lot, you know, will that happen too? Because yes, they come flying down the street there, you know, the shortcut for the high school kids. So those are some of the concerns and just, and also the height of it. The house on Leonard Street, we had no idea that one was being built. I can now see it from my bedroom window, from it being a, you know, just that was a very small house, and now I can see into the window of the house at Leonard Street. So to have a house that big on that lot too is just, oh yeah, overkill. Right across from you, you won't see anything. So those are the concerns. Like I said, he covered a lot of the concerns, but I just wanted to add to it as far as a neighborhood perspective.
And your name again?
Christine with the K, Massison, Masison.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to show you the picture so you understand the scope of what we're talking about. This is looking across the back of the son's yard.
That's what I was alluding to, right? That's,
It does go into their yard as well, right there.
Okay, I was trying to show the Joe.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's a lot of fun.
Anybody else wish to be heard? Any other questions that we have?
I guess the only, you know, back to a little bit about concerns with the amount of flooding and whatnot that may happen there. So it looks like there's two sides of this property have a stone wall along there, and then so I'm not sure what there is for vegetation, trees, whatnot back there along that stone wall. Or is there any, you have any plans to remove any of that or along the property line, or?
Well, there's an existing, we wouldn't touch that.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah.
property line. And in the back, we wouldn't touch that either.
Okay. And is it vegetated along the inside on the property itself? So are there plans to open the lot up at all along the property line? Or are you gonna try to conserve?
Generally, we'd have to build it.
Sure.
And pines are always a concern if they're really close.
Absolutely.
Just because they don't have deep roots. And as many times as I try to save them, the homeowners are scared
Sure.
that they're gonna topple on top of them, so.
Well, and as you open them to a new environment, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that's
It's-
certainly an issue, but
The pines are especially difficult.
just coming at it from a perspective of soaking up some water and,
Yeah, no,
right,
absolutely.
and trying to, you know, the more of that you remove, the
Yeah.
more of a problem it becomes.
We would have, most of the grading would be in the front and along the edge of the sides. We're trying to keep it a little, you know, lower in the back. We're trying to have it as a somewhat of a walkout in the back area. So that wasn't gonna be built up, at least the current design.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, with regard to the water, if you look at the picture, you'll see that the roof drains all go right into the ground. You know, they won't flood out. And also, when Bay Colony designs this, they have to design it so that no more water goes off than is currently going off. And they always try to minimize it as
Right.
much as possible. But all the roof drains go right down into the ground, so it's not gonna be flooding that area. But Bay Colony has to design it so no more water flows out than,
If you have a high
currently
water
exists.
table, right, if there's a high water table there, roof drains into the ground aren't gonna do you much good, right?
It would be a shallow recharge area.
Yeah. That's all I have, Ronnie.
Joe, as far as the driveway that's closest to Michael Euchner's property and its proximity or facing West Leonard, I mean, how close would it be? You know, Bill Euchner seemed to think that it's directly across from West Leonard.
I think this,
I mean, when I look at the, the
this
assessor's records, it looks fairly
if you look at this plan,
existing.
this is the proposed ZBA plan that shows, I believe this is correct, the right-of-way for West
There's
Leonard
a
here.
little
So
offset
this
there.
over here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you were to move the house in the other direction, you'll be
Right.
closer to
Right.
Ms. Slater's.
So on the one side, there's a slight overhang from West Leonard, and then
Mhm.
on the other side, there's a slight overhang of the driveway in front of my other proposed driveway.
And generally, when you do these duplexes, you try to center it, so each side has the same type of side yard.
Yeah, and they're fairly close. Have you guys seen the property? Have you been by there at
Just
all?
in pictures, not
Yeah,
in
just the
person.
pictures.
Do you feel that it might be helpful to get a better sense of this?
Agreed. Absolutely.
I
I mean, I've driven by,
Can't hurt for
you know,
sure.
a couple times. Get a better sense as to what the neighborhood looks like.
Sure,
You know, as
yeah.
well.
Of course.
So we could, continue it, do a site visit, and it's not going to help us as far as water goes, but as far as some of the other issues, a little bit more comfort as to what the property and the surrounding properties look like.
I agree.
Before we get there, though, as to we want to do that, Frank, I mentioned to you that we need to concentrate on Section 563. Criteria is the same as Section 542. The reason being, two reasons being, number one is Section 543, which we approved at the 2025 town meeting, says notwithstanding the provisions of Section 541 and 542, the reconstruction of any non-conforming structure that involves its complete demolition, which is what you're doing, and the building of a new structure on the same premises shall be subject to a special permit and finding in accordance with Section 563 in the event that the new structure, one, increases the non-conforming nature of the original structure or increases its habitable floor area by 25% or more, and two, either exceeds the gross floor area, well, word area is not there, either exceeds the gross floor of the original structure or is constructed other than on the same footprint as the original structure.
I'm sorry, what are you reading? Which one?
543.
Okay.
So essentially what we're saying is that we should just be subject to Section 563. Now, the criteria in 563 and 542 are identical, Frank.
Yeah,
So the other reason, I'm concerned about relying on 542 is because of the statutory changes. And my feeling that the 25% or more issue in 542 may not be valid anymore. So I think for that reason, again,
but my only caution on that is you said may.
yeah,
What if it is?
what if it is? We still got 563.
Right. So, but what if, right. We
So
don't have
if we
542.
continue it, I got another month to do some heavy
Okay.
research, which we're going to have to do anyhow.
Yeah.
Bill, there are going to be a lot of, at town meeting in the fall, a lot, because of some state zoning changes. We've got a lot of bylaw changes to deal with, among other things. So, that's one thing I've got to do some research on in the next month. So, certainly if we continue it, hopefully, and if you can do some research as well, hopefully both of us will be clear as to which section will own. But that'll give us an opportunity as well to take a look at the property and perhaps you can do some other thinking, Joe, as far as the centering of the house. That'll,
Yeah, I think it's, well, you can't keep everybody happy,
Yeah.
but I think this location has, just from the location standpoint, it deals with both of the issues. You know, they're not direct on either impact, so. I
Impacts
don't-
either one,
Yeah, I don't
both of
know
them a
that-
little bit.
I don't know that moving it is gonna overall improvement. You're gonna have one more impacted and one less impacted, so.
And again, the water issues are issues.
Yeah, no, and
You know, you're not.
I rely on my
You
engineer.
created it, but, you know, you may
Yeah, and
exasperate.
I have to rely on my engineer
Yeah.
to make sure it's taken care of.
Okay. So continue to next month?
If we're going to do a site visit, then sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a motion to continue August.
20th.
A motion to continue this matter to the next meeting scheduled for August 20th.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? I'll talk to you, Frank, about a convenient time to look at it, to do a site walk.
When do you think you'd want to do it? Right before the meeting, or?
Oh, definitely before the meeting.
No, I mean, right before, or?
You guys got vacation plans in the next few weeks, or?
I'm available.
Wish. Pretty flexible, so.
Yeah, I am as well.
I mean, other than the first week of August, I'm flexible too, so, Joe, you're around?
Yeah.
Pick a date. Diana, pick a date.
Next week's the 20th, 24th. Week after that, it's 27th, 31st. First week of August, there's no Barney, so then you got August 10th to the 14th or 17th to the
I'm not
20th,
around
which
from
is
the
the week of
12th
the meeting.
on.
I'm sorry?
I'm not around from the 12th on.
Okay, so I'm gonna be away,
When are you back?
no, I'm just, and then the first week, Wednesday through Friday, I can do, of August, I can do the first couple of days that week.
Can
The
we just
10th
do
or
it next
11th?
week?
The end of July is fine, too. I mean, I
Yeah.
would think sooner the better, right?
You want to just do it next week? Does it
Yeah.
work for everyone?
Sure.
The only problem is I may have another meeting, and I don't know when it'll be next week. Wait a second. I do have a meeting on Wednesday of next week. Thursday of next week.
Sure.
That is what date?
23rd.
How about Tuesday of next week?
21st.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Yep.
First it
Scott
is.
and I are doing a site visit of the East Belcher property on Thursday.
The only-
So can I ask one question? They said that their engineer is making it so it won't shed any more water, but if they raise the grades.
Bill,
Yeah, you gotta come up.
can
of
you
all the
sit on
people
one of
here-
these boards?
Right, of all the people.
Of all the people here, you should know that, right?
This is no better. So, obviously, like they said, they could put the roof leaders into the ground, into, gravel pits and stuff like that. But if they raise the grade, which then mitigates the water that's then currently going to their yard to go in a different direction, are they calculating for some way of fixing that? Meaning, are they putting in, gravel? Are they doing something so that the water has a place to go? Or if they just raise the grade, then, like I said, it only has one place to go. So I just want to be clear on what you're asked, or what they do or have to do.
It's something you gotta deal with.
I'm not an engineer, but, we work with Bay Colony, and he's got to meet all the requirements of it's not in a floodplain, it's high groundwater, but he has to address how the water flows.
The planning board stormwater regulations say that the water cannot be any worse than what it is existing.
You cannot increase it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anything,
That's where I was going.
He's gonna
with
fix the
added
problem is-
Impervious surface.
Mm-hmm.
2 driveways in a larger building
Mm-hmm.
creates that problem. You're cutting off your infiltration.
Okay.
and Mr. Buckley won't be there next week. He's away for a couple of weeks.
Well, maybe we can have him at the August?
I'm sorry?
Maybe we can have him here in August, on the 20th.
Yep.
Okay. Be helpful. 21st at 11 o'clock be okay?
Yep.
Sure. And neighbors are welcome to be with us. We don't make any decisions then, it's just to view the property and have any questions that we may have answered. So we'll say the 21st at 11, we'll meet you at the
Good for
location.
me, is that good for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
And in the meantime, I'll see what information I can get from Bay Colony with driveway calculations and things like that.
Yeah, and I'll try, Frank, I'll try to speak with town council if I get the authorization, and see what he thinks about the 25%. It's just that I'm concerned about it, that it, would be,
I looked at it too and wondered that,
yeah,
but not sure how everyone's going to interpret it.
yeah.
Whether it gives towns that flexibility that's there now, or it eliminates it. Now, my initial reaction is the state's trying to eliminate
Yeah.
as much as possible,
That's my reaction,
but,
and,
but we don't know,
yeah,
and the way they read it today, it could be something that
Could
they
be
read it
different.
differently tomorrow too, so.
and the way the legislation was drafted, I think, leaves a lot to be desired, number one. Number two, as I mentioned earlier, even though what they're trying to do is promote housing production, it applies to commercial, and it doesn't really fit into commercial, some of the changes, so. I could just see that a year from now, the legislature trying to fix it because
Yeah.
of,
I mean, one of the things that would surprise me is uses of residential in all districts are allowed.
Yeah,
How is that gonna be? Now you have a commercial zone, you can put a house in it, what are the setbacks?
mm-hmm.
I mean, that opens up so many questions.
So anyhow, I'll try to do some research and
do
speak
the
to some
same.
people, and we'll see what we can come up with as to what does or doesn't apply.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the time being 7:10 PM, Jennifer Doherty seeks a special permit pursuant to the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Chapter 275 zoning, Section 5.2, to allow the expansion of a deck that's 1.3 feet closer to the side yard setback than the existing deck, and an access stairway 1.8 feet in the rear yard setback. The property is located at 10 Grover Lane in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District, and is not located in any restrictive overlay district. You're not Mrs. Doherty?
No. Good evening, Craig Siganowski of RIM Engineering, representing Jennifer. She purchased a lot back in 2015. The building was put up in 1994 in the Cannon Forge cluster development. And the deck appears to be the original to the house, so it's quite old, and she's looking to replace it, but at the same time expand it. So first, we went before Conservation, and they have approved the layout that you see, and now we need relief from the side yard. I believe it was after I filed for the special permit that I spoke with Mr. Shippey, and he pointed out that regulation, the side yard 4.1.6 does allow egress steps to be within 2 feet of the rear set, or any setback. I assume not the, doesn't delineate whether it's side or rear. So our egress steps off the back of the deck, being at 28.2, that's less than the 2 feet allowed, so I do not believe we need relief from that, if you agree that they are egress steps.
Agreed, even if you didn't bring it up, I was going to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So the definition of.
I missed it in the bylaw.
Yeah, definition of setback is such that, porches, decks,
Yeah,
well, decks are part of the house.
Right.
A porch that is covered would be part of the house. If it's not
Right.
covered, it wouldn't be. And stairway that provides access and egress is not deemed to be part of the structure.
right.
If it was, you would need a variance, but it's
Right.
not, so we don't have to worry about it.
So the house does conform to the setbacks, 16.2 on one side, 16.8 on the other. But when the deck was built, we found it to be, when we did the location for conservation, that it's at 13.1. And that comes out 8.1 feet from the house. She'd like to come out 10 feet. And this is a raised structure, 8 feet off the ground. But by coming out 10 feet, we get 11.8, where 15 is required. So that is the relief we are seeking. And again, this is the R40, so a normal lot would be 40,000 square feet, and we would not have, probably would not have this issue, but we're at 8,500 because it is a cluster lot. And I did not find, and the town building department did not find specific setbacks just for the cluster development in Cannon Forge. So the 15-foot side yard does hold.
So are you raising, eliminating the current deck, or just building around
Yes,
it?
completely removing the existing deck.
All new footings,
Yes,
nothing in the current footing situation.
right. No, they, like I said, it appears to be original to the house from 1994.
Okay.
So the footings would be set back 2 feet from the, so it'd be cantilevered over the footings 2 feet.
I'm sorry, what was the height of the proposed?
Well,
deck?
this is kind of, you have a retaining wall in the back, so there's a walkout basement here. So on
Okay.
the right-hand side, as you're looking at the plan, you're about 8.5 feet above the ground. But when there's a small hump where that retaining wall is, so then you're about 6 feet. So the place where we're closest to the property line is about an 8 feet above the ground.
This property's not in Summerfield, is it? Or is it?
Somerville,
Summerfield?
Summerfield, yeah. I mean, it's, yeah, and that, if you look here.
Is it Summerfield?
There's the Sharon line. So it's
Okay.
that first, this is Independence, I believe.
Yep.
So it's that very first.
So it would be Summerfield? Okay.
Right.
Do you know whether, for decks, to replace an existing deck, approval is needed from the local association, the homeowners association?
that I do not know.
Okay. Do you know?
I don't know.
That was gonna be my question, I don't know the answer
Yeah.
to that either.
I know that, a few years ago, we had an expansion of a house in Summerfield. It was expanding it, though, extending it, and that did require authorization. So if we approve it, I'll just,
Subject
You know,
to
in a condition, yeah.
HOA approvals required.
so, okay. I don't have any other questions.
Pretty straightforward.
I mean, pretty straightforward, yeah.
All right, we're going to have a motion to close the public.
Motion to close the public portion of the hearing?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, so what I would do would be to propose approval of the requested permit with the following 2 conditions. One is that the proposed raised deck is to be located on the property as shown on the replacement plan, which I'm going to be attaching this to the decision, such that it is no closer than 11.8 feet from the property's easterly side yard line and is at least 30 feet from the lot's rear yard line. And 2, Ms. Doherty is to obtain such written authorization and approval for the construction of the proposed raised deck as may be required, as the case may be, from trustees of the Cannon Forge Condominium Trust and/or the directors of the Independence Forge Association, Inc., and/or the directors of the Summerfield Property Owners Association, Inc., and shall provide evidence of such authorization and approval, or provide evidence that no such approval is required to the Town of Foxborough Building Commissioner at such time as a building permit for construction of the proposed raised deck is requested. I don't know which of those associations, she's in. I don't know
There's
which one
there's
you're
three
in.
of, there's 3 of them in there, so
Yeah.
it's,
Is
it
is
is.
it?
One of them may or may not apply.
Right.
So, anything else?
Yep.
Nothing.
Okay. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve with conditions stated.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll draft a decision, hopefully get it signed next week, and actually, we'll all be together next week. And, it's probably it's going to need to be filed with the registry. We've
Right.
done this before, so,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, as I mentioned last month, and as I talked a little bit with Frank, the outside sections of the budget included some significant zoning changes. When I say changes to the state statute, the state zoning act. So one is a completely new definition of variance. And really the things we had to deal with before, soil conditions, et cetera, substantial hardship, or they're still there, but only there as things that you may consider to determine whether it's a practical difficulty to,
So it's more of a may than shall?
it's certainly more flexible and
that's-
favorable to whoever is looking for
Seeking
the variance.
right?
Yeah. Also, what I've seen, and I haven't really focused on this yet, but some other people have, brought to my attention, that there may be restrictions on imposing conditions when you grant a variance, which sounds kind of strange to me, but again, I've got to look at this a little bit more closely. The other major change is in the state statute that deals with non-conforming structures. And as I'm reading it, there's more in line with allowing things by right than there is by requiring a special permit. And I'm also reading it to mean that, in our bylaw where we say you have to go for a special permit and a finding if either you're increasing the nonconformity, and that hasn't changed or is not changing, or if you're 25% or more increase in habitable floor area. I think that may very well be no longer valid. And if that's no longer valid, it takes care of a lot of things
Yeah,
that
no.
come before us. But again, it's very flexible for the homeowner who wants to
Right.
extend or alter or reconstruct. The other thing that's interesting, this is where I said that these things were not drafted really, really well, at least in my opinion,
Usually is that way.
yeah, is that when the legislation was before the Senate Ways and Means Committee, that's where these outside provisions first appeared, and it was under the category of housing production. The House Ways and Means Committee didn't have it in their version, and the House didn't have it in their version, but ultimately it went to the conference committee. What was in the Senate version, passed, and that was ultimately signed by the governor. So even though initially things were under the heading or category of housing production, it all applies to commercial. And it's more in line with something on the residential side, but it applies on the commercial side, and I'm not quite sure,
So
where
this-
things, fit in
Right.
and how they fit in, so.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. As I said, I've got to, work on zoning bylaw revisions, and I really need to talk with town council to get, his
Yeah,
opinion.
I
because
don't-
some of the things that I'm seeing lead me to believe that you're going to get different opinions in different ways, and I want to at least, have his advice and counsel before I, prepare anything and go any
When was
further.
the last time that there were that kind of a change to state law?
Well, you had it with the MBTA communities, and you
Right,
had it with
yeah.
ADUs.
Catherine just sent me another one.
I mean, it just seems to me like, right, like every time there's an update, it's enhanced, but now all of a sudden it's a rebuild, right?
Yeah.
It's-
Catherine just sent another one. We have an exciting update from Beacon Hill. Senate Ways and Means Committee released its version of the Economic Development Bill, which includes one of AHMA's priorities from the YIMBY bill, the legislation of duplexes by right statewide.
Okay. And there's also, I think in that bill, some provisions relative to site plan review.
Codification of site plan review and a commercial to residential conversion opt-in program.
So we may have less,
Less to do.
Less to do
Less
going
say,
forward.
less say in the matter.
For the
anyway.
moment, anyway.
In general, I don't love the way the outside section
Yeah.
process
Well, you've
works.
probably seen it,
And
with
my,
what you do.
right, and they try to sneak in these things.
Mhm.
To your point, it's usually poorly written, and it's never really fully vetted by the people it affects.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with it, and it's
Yeah.
a real pain, but we'll see, I guess, on this
And
one.
then you spend the next, decade revising it piece by
Yeah.
piece by piece, trying
Yeah.
to find out what doesn't fit,
Right.
right?
And trying to deal with it, and then the
It's never
litigation.
written by the subject matter experts. It's,
That's why I was kind of alluding to, right, it's a rebuild, so,
Yeah.
so now you start that process of climbing the mountain. and-
Yep.
And slowly but surely, year after year, revising the pieces that don't fit.
yep.
Anyhow, that's it. Unless we have any other business?
I do not.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right. We are adjourned.
So we'll see you on Tuesday.